Their glorious pasts are the stuff of NBA legends. Jordan himself should elevate the Pacers' intensity level. Jordan, last regular season trip to Indianapolis, he's battling for a playoff spot to extend his career a little longer.
In Indianapolis, but it's the last time playing basketball. Take a look at these numbers at 40 years old, averaging about 36. That's been exceptional. But you look at the minutes to go along with that, he's been doing an outstanding job, Al, in terms of trying to get his team to the playoffs. That's why the sense of urgency.
In Washington.
And it was quite impressive when you take a look at what Michael Jordan was able to do, and then going on to be 40 years old. You look at him, he scored 173 times in his career. You got to enjoy the fact that at 39 going to 40, he played 53 minutes.
Pacers hope for more contributions starting tonight against Michael Jordan and the Wizards, right here on Fox Sports Net.
We'll be back to tip this one off from Conseco.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Clarion Health. And Indiana, without Jamal Tinsley, have moved Ron Mercer into the backcourt alongside of Reggie Miller. This is the lineup for the Wizards. Michael Jordan, at the age of 40 in his 15th season, averaging 19 a game. Former coach of Michael Jordan in Chicago. And Michael Jordan says, I'm going out with no bullets. It's the end of my career. I don't want to see it end in a negative way. And if the rest of his teammates can't see his love for the game, they don't need to be in uniform. Let's just put it on the line. One game out of the final playoff spot with 27 games to go. Quinn, the 4 keys to the game.
Well, you've already touched on one. Michael Jordan, you have to be very uncharacteristic. Defensively, you've got to get solid. You're playing at home. You must try to maintain what you've got here going in.
3-game suspension. Fast break, Jordan, baseline jumper. And it's run down by Stackhouse.
Artest has got to be a part of this team in a big way. I think he's got to do more than score. He's got to defend his Jordan. Make a 3-bouncer there. If you could use one of
the Pacers handle Lou on this side of the floor at the 6 feet and the speed cycle. Jordan hits again.
That's the question that you get when you have a
break at home against the Wizards, who have lost 7 of their last 8 games on the road. Backing in is Harrington, and he draws the foul, and it is on Michael Jordan.
Pass off.
Devices get used to it. Harrington slapped away. That's another foul on Jordan. So Jordan has picked up numbers 1 and 2 back-to-back.
Michael Jordan. And Al is causing a problem because off the dribble he beats Michael Jordan, and Jordan reaches in and picks up his second foul. So they're going to have to send Jordan down.
Jordan goes out with a couple of field goals and 2 personal fouls. And the youngster Bobby Simmons, second-year man out of DePaul, checks in very early.
Chance to face MJ a little more often in the playoffs. Of course, there was that one series.
So the youngster Kwame Brown, number 5, coming in, first pick in the draft last year out of high school. Jordan, number 23, guarded by number 23. Artest all over, and Jordan still hits. Jordan lately, you forget the beginning of the season. Back the other way, Jordan. And Michael Jordan off to a blazing start, 4 of 5. He has 8 points in 7 minutes on the floor. And Michael Jordan is in town. Last regular season appearance here at Conseco Fieldhouse, and he is making good on every minute he's on the floor. 7 minutes, 4 for 5, 8 points. And Quinn, he doesn't look like a guy on his last leg who's counting down the days to the end of his career.
He really doesn't. I mean, you can take a look at the numbers, but the only thing that looks slightly different for the most part is you don't see quite as much definition, even though I would say for any 40-year-old man sitting around the house, if you look like that, you're looking pretty good. But seemingly, he's much more effective in terms of the use of his energy. He used to be around doing something all the time. He just knows when to turn it on and when to try to save the energy.
Simmons still has a friskiness about him. Against Indiana this year, in Washington, he had a season-high 28 points early, and then the 41 in the double overtime. And right there, Harrington pulled the move on Jordan, but he stayed with it, and Jordan pointing to Harrington. in appreciation of that. Matter of fact, the last game in Washington when Harrington went to 33, Jordan gave him the sneakers after the ball game.
Well, the funny thing about the chair, pulling the chair, is that's one of the things that Charles Oakley likes to do. He's one of the guys that originally did that. And Michael Jordan and Charles Oakley, as you well know, have quite a history together.
Here is Oakley. Oh, the no-look to Jordan. After their longest losing streak of the season, which is 4. Jordan, the quick release. Oakley complaining that he was held from behind by Crozier. Indiana with a lineup now of Strickland and Mercer in the backcourt. Foster, Crozier, and Harrington up front. So 5 points. And you knew somewhere along the line, Oakley was going to get a payback, which we did see. So we'll watch for Oakley against Foster later in this game. Foster is now out. Lonnie Brown. 4 minutes in of the second quarter in a sold-out Conseco Fieldhouse, where the Pacers will return Friday. It will be another incredible game. First look at the Bucks with Gary Payton and Desmond Mason. Jordan able to push off and scores 6 field goals.
You're right.
2-point lead for the Wizards. Jordan fakes. Brown can't hold on.
And I was talking in the media room before the game, and somebody said that to me. I said, Michael must not remember the game against Cleveland. They're playing with each other a little bit.
And with 26 games to go for the Pacers, looking to make their stretch run. Isaiah using the bench here in the first half. Jordan getting the bounce for 7 field goals, 14 points to lead all scorers. And
I'm amazed, having been around and seen this young man, this old man, no, I should say it that way. See this guy play and play at this level, Al.
mixes it up. Jordan wrapped up by Artest. Artest so happy this year he's able to change his number to 23 for Jamal Tinsley not playing. Jordan with the 2 fouls will sit it out for the remaining 42 seconds. Trip through all 3 Texas cities. Detroit has lost 3 in a row, including last night in Seattle. And that opened up a 5-game Western swing. They're in Sacramento tonight. They have the Lakers, Golden State, and Portland on this trip. So Indiana with an opportunity to perhaps gain some ground if they could return to form. Michael Jordan is back in now, but the Wiz getting the ball with 18 seconds left in the half. 16 points for two players. The age of 40 to score 40 or more points in a ball game. 5 seconds. It's in the hands of Jordan. So much room, but he had Jermaine O'Neal running at him, and that changed the shot around. So Michael Jordan plays 19 minutes, goes 8 of 14, has 16 points in the first half, leading the Wizards to a home against the Wizards right here on Fox Sports Net. Well, in the first quarter, Indiana finding out that Ron Artest would be on the floor to defend against Jordan, and then his first shot of the game with a sore elbow hits a 3. But Jordan came back the other way, and after picking up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, Michael Jordan goes wild. Reggie Miller at the other end, on way to 9 points to lead the Pacers in scoring. But for Michael Jordan, Jordan starts with the basketball on the switch, guarded by Brad Miller. And there's O'Neal fighting for it. 1 field goal in the first half. He has 3 more already here in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. Indiana right now needing some direction as Jordan gets his 9th field goal. 18 points for Michael Jordan, who had 14 in his other game in Indiana this year, sandwiched by 28 and 41 against the Pacers in Washington.
Greatest of all time. And I would say that Reggie, while not as great as Michael,
He can learn from that and learn by the fact that Jordan is still able to score 40 at the age of 40.
well, I think the biggest thing is that he is...
All right, Donnie, we appreciate it as always. Thanks very much, guys. Back over to you.
All right, thank you.
Firing for whatever reason. They get a little sputter, a start and a sputter.
This is what happened the last time these two teams faced each other in Indiana. It was Reggie who drilled 17 points and 4 3-pointers in the third quarter to get Indiana on track on way to a 25-point night. Stackhouse, right now, Washington's been feeding Indiana to the basketball. The Pacers, though, move to within 2 after trailing by 7. Jordan gets Harrington running the other way and then draws the foul on the drive. Harrington is called for the personal, and that is his third.
Well, they call Al for the foul.
Well, it looked like Brad got Jordan, and then Jermaine O'Neal got Brad Miller.
Yeah, that was, I mean, there's no way he fouled in that particular situation.
Well, an indication of where Jordan is at the age of 40 and how he's getting his points as the flashbulbs go off at the foul shot. Jordan.
You gonna tell me that the flashlight didn't bother him on that jump shot?
Numbers trying to play through with a broken nose. He was 4 of 15 in San Antonio the other night. Michael Jordan chewing up a storm at the 8th. Lou. Now on the switch, Jordan goes to work on Strickland, who's digging in. There's the fake, there's the fadeaway, and there's the hoop.
And he's having a little look as though that conversation is being had.
Going in, they lead by 10 going out, and
still was able to get it off the glass.
Well, his third field goal. Now it is Mercer right up on Michael Jordan, giving directions to rookie Juan Dixon, and then taking it himself with a fadeaway in vintage fashion.
And you could see him get his balance, which I didn't think he was going to be able to do. Two oldest players up there, right?
Trailing in double figures on 4 or 5 occasions to turn around for victories. They have to do it again here tonight against a very determined Washington team fighting for their playoff lives. Jordan at the shot clock. Jordan again, compliments of Oakley, but he's going to pull the basketball outside, shadowed there by Mercer. Dixon missing his first foul shot. Jordan will get a rest here early in the fourth. Washington now trying to fight off this comeback bid by the Pacers. Jordan, no. The basketball, only 2 turnovers in the game. Jordan off the mark. Hayward gets away with a push and then stuffs it in. Stackhouse. Jordan followed by Artest. The dish to Hayward. And the whistle. And foul number 2.
Hayward. And then Michael Jordan comes to the basket, gives it to Hayward on the other end, and O'Neal tries to block it.
For 7 from downtown with that quick release, and now it comes down to 1:49, and the Wizards have Michael Jordan on the floor. Quinn, it's a classic between Jordan and Reggie Miller. Reggie has hit 4 threes, his last 4.
Been pretty much signature for these Central Division rivals. Now with Jordan in the Atlantic, but at any rate, second. 50 seconds timeout.
So Michael Jordan, coming into this game, knew there was 27 games left, and he said that he's going out with no bullets. That it's the end of his career. He doesn't want to see it end in a negative way, and that at the age of 40, trying to carry this team into the playoffs because he would like to extend his career beyond the 27 regular season games, and wins by 2. And another game down to the closing minutes. Artest gets right in the way.
Well, Ron is always getting his hands around the ball.
Jordan tried to grab it. Smallest man on the floor gets the rebound. Pass break for the Wiz with Jordan on his way. And a foul on Reggie Miller with 1:10 to go. And Jordan coming up hobbling.
With a lot of knees with Reggie Miller.
1 game behind Orlando in the last playoff spot are the Magic. Friday they beat New Jersey, the Wiz, 89-86. Jordan at 43. Miss from the foul line, only his 3rd foul shot. He also had the clinching layup, leading by 1 with 34 seconds to go. And then Sunday going to overtime against Dallas. So the Wiz is certainly getting the message from Jordan, feeling the urgency, consecutive loss. Calls a timeout to talk it over, and Michael Jordan in pain. Here he is at the age of 40. Not only has he been scoring big of late, he's played every game for the Wiz team. The last two games have played 94 minutes, and there is the collision.
You see, they collided right on each other's kneecap. Reggie, fortunately, they collided almost kneecap to kneecap, because if Jordan goes to the inside against Reggie, it could be something more serious for Reggie for sure, but at this rate, Jordan was in some pain. Reggie seems to be okay, not even rubbing his knee. Trying to find the ball amongst the bums.
Not even in your last season?
Trust me, on my last trip, I had to get off the bench in order to get a little flash club going. Nobody was taking pictures of me.
In his career, he's averaged 30 could extend that high. Aaron turnovers in the game, taking care of the basketball. Jordan, who had the last one moments ago, another offensive rebound. Season showed a tendency to be able to win every close ball game.
But it's one of the reasons why you want to get.
But 40 seconds still remaining. The Wiz, a 5-point cushion. That one is on the West Coast Golden State.
The guy that really steps up, in my opinion, is Brendan Hayward. He's 10 points, 10 boards. He doesn't give them that kind of production right there behind Michael Jordan. So he's pretty substantial for them. And then Christian Laettner is always solid. 10 and 6 for himself.
And Oakley comes in with some solid pressure on. That is the final timeout for either ball club. As Laettner saw nothing there.
You can stack house.
To make sure that his basketball life, now into its 15th season, the age of 40, extends more than the final 27 games of the regular season. And a likelihood
Wizards fan tonight.
Michael Jordan should have just let the ball go out of bounds with the extra tick of the second. And this should be it. So, the last appearance at Conseco Fieldhouse, the regular season, adversaries for so many years, great respect for one another. Michael Jordan goes hobbling out.